Hello, everybody. So, tonight I want to talk about Marlena, who was living at the Wells. Why nobody's talking about her, I don't understand. So, I'm going to play a clip from Fred Hill, and then I want to know what you guys think. Hold on, I guess so.
There's Marlena's though. Husband, okay. Yeah. But see, her name not being brought up in this at all. And like a little girl, that stuff that's been seen down there, that's Marlena's little girl. Oh, so it's not Ross's. No, there was a little girl that was there the day before Summer went missing. See, the little girl played with Summer a lot. Stayed there, played with. Yeah, they call her Summer's best friend, and I thought it was the husband. Yeah, I thought it was the husband. I didn't think it was Marlena that was there, but you're saying Marlena was there the day before Summer. Yeah, she was there the day she went missing. I tried messaging her. Thank you, SOF. I tried messaging her, but I don't know if she uses. People trying to keep her out of singing for some reason. I don't understand that. Well, because I've looked at a lot of stuff, and I've not seen her name be brought up in none of it. And a while ago, if you're ready to go down there, I understand. Like, if you're want to go, I'm going to leave here in a second. Keep walking, keep my feet warm. I know my feet are what's cold. Nothing. I'm not really that cold everywhere else, just my feet. And I have, like,
I don't understand why nobody is talking about her when she was definitely living at the Wells. It was Summer's best friend was her daughter. To me, that scares me. Why would nobody be talking about her? Why is her name left out from everybody who's been talking about this case? Nobody's brought up Marlena. It makes no sense. That means Summer's best friend could be in danger too. That I don't understand. There's no reason for Fred Hill to lie about it. He has nothing to gain or nothing to lose. He knows that Marlena lived there all the way up until Summer went missing. So you hear about everybody else in this case, but the one person you don't hear about is Marlena. Why is that? I'm going to come back tomorrow And I'm going to put together a full scenario on what I believe happened to Summer Wells. Because I've got a lot of emails from people who live around there who have information, who's also turned that information over to law enforcement, but they want to stay anonymous at this time because they want to be able to testify in court to what they know. I know in April there's going to be a grand jury's going to convene. I don't know on what cases, but I'm hoping it's on Summer Wells's case because there's too many things that are disturbing in here. So, for the people who came tonight, you just need to think about why nobody's talking about this girl. It's scary because she has a daughter, a little older than Summer, who everybody has seen in pictures at the water hole, at that waterfall where she's standing in a bikini. I won't put her face up here because we don't know. She may be a victim of something herself. These people know what happened to Summer. Andy was seen that day, and that's disturbing. That everybody just discounts Fred. But what does Fred Hill have to lose by telling the world that Andy was home that day? And I'm going to play you a clip of that.
About 3 o'clock at night, I had a car. I had a bunch of cars here at that time. Long regular and stuff on trailer stuff, and I was having to park in a regular. I'd have to let people buy. I could take one truck come in, and I can't place what color it is or nothing. I mean, it just, I remember a truck. And it was this quality way acting and stuff. And then Andy come in and parted it out. Like he would come in to get it to take it wherever, you know. But I can't place, I can't remember what kind of truck. He just like my mind blank on that. So I remember.
It makes you wonder why Andy was home that day at 3 o'clock. And whose truck did they follow out? Was it Jody Sue's mom? Or was it the Sandman? It's real disturbing. I'll give you my scenario, what I think happened. I think that day something happened to Summer at the water hole, but I think a lot of people were involved in what happened to Summer. I think Candace went and met Dawn. I think Dawn used somebody's vehicle, and I really believe this Marlena, after they did whatever they did with Summer, drove Dawn back to work to get the Subaru. Because Fred's seen Dawn that day also. And Jody Sue speaks of a vehicle coming up the drive. Was that Sandman and Andy? Because Andy was seen at 3 o'clock. And Fred Hill seen another man in a truck because he had to go around him hauling out his junk. People should be worried about Summer's best friend because there's a reason nobody's talking about Marlena. Why? Why is Marlena being left out when she was there that day? It really bothers me. And I'm going to play where Fred told Ziggy that Marlena lived there up until Summer went missing. I think everybody who's followed this case should be wondering, why are they keeping Marlena out of it? Because Marlena is related to Andy. Her kid's grandfather is the grandfather of her daughter and and he is Andy's uncle. Just listen to this.
Marlena's okay. But see, her name not being brought up in this at all. And like a little girl and stuff that's been seen down there, that's Marlena's little girl.
Oh, so it's not Ross's. No, there was a little girl that was there the day before Summer went missing.
See, the little girl played with Summer a lot. Stayed there, played with her.
Yeah, they call her Summer's best friend, and I thought it was the husband. Yeah, I thought it was the husband. I didn't think it was Marlena that was there, but you're saying Marlena was there the day before Summer.
Yeah, she was there the day she went missing.
I tried messaging her. Thank you, SOF. I tried messaging her, but I don't know if she uses.
She's people trying to keep her out of the scene for some reason. I don't understand that.
Well,
because I've looked at a lot of stuff, and I've not seen her name be brought up in none of it. And a while ago,
if you're ready to go down there, I understand. Like, if you're want to go, I'm going to leave here in a second. I keep my feet. I know my feet are what's cold. Nothing. I'm not really that cold anywhere else. Just my feet. And I have like.
Why is everybody keeping Marlena out of it? Is she the one who took Summer out of the yard and handed her off to Andy? Is she the one who took Dawn back to work that day? Because Jody Sue seen a vehicle come out. But was Jody Sue involved? Why'd Andy lie and say he was at work all day and they had him on film? But for some reason, Andy's lost his job. Who was the truck that Andy followed out between 3 and 3:30 that Fred Hill saw? Why is everybody discounting Fred Hill's interview? He was an eyewitness. And he says that there's cameras on that road. So law enforcement knows who came in and who went out the hill that day. But I'm really disturbed about this Marlena. I don't understand why she's being totally left out of every scenario. She lived with the Wells. They know she lived with the Wells. But they're keeping her hidden from the public. Why? What does she have to do with Summer's disappearance? I'm hoping that when the grand jury goes out in April, that Summers case is involved. I hope all these bastards get locked up. Because it's sad that something happened to this little girl, and everybody around her who was living there or by there knows what went on that day. And the victim here isn't Candace or Dawn. It's Summer. And law enforcement needs to go and check this girl out. And DCF needs to go and check her daughter out. Because her daughter might know what happened to Summer that day. Where was she that day? Nobody should be discounting Fred Hill's interview with Ziggy. Because what does he have to lose? Really, he put himself in danger by coming forward and saying what he saw that day. He's 100% sure Andy came in a gray car. Andy followed a truck out. He remembers that perfectly clear. So if Jody Sue wasn't involved and doesn't know what was going on that day, it may be that Andy hid it from her. But I believe Candace and Dawn know what happened. Fred also states that money was transferred that day between Dawn and Andy. Why? Why would Dawn be giving Andy money? And for them to say that maybe he was giving him money for drugs, the night that his daughter was missing, Dawn gives him money and says, here's the money I owe you. Hunter was probably right about the text messages, that it's done. Because everything everybody has said has all been lies. Andy wasn't at work. He couldn't have been at work and then to be seen at 3 and 3:30. And in the beginning, Jody Sue took up for Candace and Dawn. Now, Dawn's a monster just as much as Candace. But I want to know why nobody's speaking about this Marlena character. There's more to it. People need to start digging into her. Somebody should probably interview her. See where she was that day. Law enforcement needs to go and talk to her and talk to her child. Because her child was in a lot of the pictures with Summer. And like I said, I won't put her face on here. Because she may be a victim herself. We all have been hurt by this case. Everybody wants to know, where is Summer? There's just been so many statements. Jody Sue saying that her daughter said her dad, that Andy said he's seen Summer's dead body. Who would do that? Who would say that to their kid? Then she says later it was to scare her. What person would tell a child they seen a missing child's dead body to scare her? And then when Benny calls and talks to him, he asks him, when are we going to stop this shit? It's a new year. Yeah, it's a new year. But we still want to know where Summer Wells is. And nobody's going to stop. Everybody's going to keep digging. until we have answers. I'd like to know who Andy followed out that day between 3 and 3:30. And I'd like to know where this Marlena was on the day Summer went missing. So any of y'all on here who's listening, if you have a channel, maybe you guys could start asking questions. Maybe there's somebody who's close to the case who may know. Where was Marlena that day? Why is nobody talking about her? I'm not even sure what to think about Jose. Too many things don't add up. But they're hiding this Marlena for some reason. Nobody's even peeped a word of it except Fred Hill. But everybody wants to discount him because he's seen Andy that day between 3 and 3:30. Andy followed a truck out of there. Whose truck? Who helped him get Summer? I hope if you have a channel, you dig into this Marlena. And I want to thank everybody for coming to hear about this, because maybe you guys can help spread that Marlena lived at the wells, her and her daughter. Question is, why is nobody talking about it? It seems strange to me. So I thank all you guys who are in here who came to hear. But start asking questions about her. Start asking questions about the interview that Ziggy had with Fred. Because Fred put his life in danger by talking about the things he talked about. Nothing good can come of what he said, because he's just put a target on his back. So all we can all do is pray that this grand jury that's coming up in April is the Summer Wells case. And that they round all these son of a bitches up who had something to do with the disappearance of this child and bring Summer Wells justice. Again, I thank you guys for all supporting and looking for Summer.